The air release on this is also really good. You can see we have air bubbles here, and if I just press them, they go away, right? It's really easy to work with. Look at that. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to answer the question, what is the best vinyl wrap for beginners? And honestly, the answer, right behind me. These are the three brands that I use in the shop: Avery Denison, KPMF, and 3M. Now, I will use some other brands if customers are like dead set on it, but I prefer to use these three brands. Why? Because they're cast films, not calendared. Now, I think I'm going to make another video going more into depth between the difference of cast and calendared films, but these cast films are so much easier to install than calendared films. Yes, I know people will say, well, you know, if you're a real installer, you should be able to install everything. Fine, whatever. But these are easier, trust me. Especially if you're a beginner, these are way easier. Now, these films, they're not without their flaws. Each brand, Avery, KPMF, and 3M, they all have pros and cons to each. So I'm gonna go through that in this video, and then you can make that decision which one you think is best for you. Now, I guess I should say this is not a sponsored video. Obviously, this is just my opinion. We're gonna start with Avery, and now this is my favorite vinyl to install just because it's so freaking easy to use. It doesn't matter if you've never touched vinyl before. Once you use this, you'll understand how vinyl is supposed to feel. So we're gonna use this scrap. Let me just unroll it here. And the reason I've chosen this color is because you'll see the issue with Avery. Like I said, every vinyl has pros and cons. So Avery's pro is that it's super easy to stretch and move around. It's really thin. It's just incredibly malleable. And as a beginner, you definitely want that. So we'll unroll it. I've chosen this area because see, we have this high spot here and a high spot over here. I want to play around with kind of getting the vinyl tacked on these high spots, I guess. See, so if you're trying to glass it out and you're moving the vinyl around, it's kind of sticking on these high points. I'm trying to mess up a little here. If I can pick this up. I'm going to try and get the negative effect that Avery can have. Let's see if I can do it. So we do that. Try and glass out this side as best we can. Look how easy it is to pick up, right? It's so light, so easy to use. Do that. Again, I'm trying to rub the vinyl on these high points, and you'll see why. Let's see if I can do it here. There, yeah, okay, perfect. So I got it right there. I'll bring in the camera here to show you what I'm talking about. Let's just quickly get this down. This recess here, which you would always want to feed into. We're talking about technique. Oh, yeah, I think you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Look along this raised body line here. You see how it's kind of pitted a little bit? It looks like there's dust or something stuck under there. See if I can get a better angle of it somewhere. Kind of right here. I don't know if you can catch that. It's not orange peel. It looks like it's bumpy, right? When you have these areas that look like there's dust under your film and you're like, I swear I cleaned, there's no dust. You're probably right, and there is no contaminant. There is no dust left behind. That's what we call sanding. Now, how that happens and the way that happens, this is what I was trying to show when I was installing it. It's that when you're dragging the vinyl across those raised areas on the hood or whatever panel you're wrapping, it causes the adhesive to ball up. So what you're actually seeing there is the adhesive on the vinyl. Now, to avoid that, you have to lift up the vinyl and pull it when you're glassing out instead of dragging it across the surface. So in my opinion, this is the #1 negative of Avery film, but it's pretty easy to counteract. Just don't pull across the surface. Make sure you lift the vinyl up to avoid that adhesive getting balled up and looking like dust or a contaminant, because it prevents you from getting that perfect finish that you want. Okay, we're done with Avery, so let's move on to the next one. Now we have KPMF, and you're gonna see the difference. So this is probably my second favorite out of these three. Unroll it. Oh, we have a bit too much, but whatever. Let me tack this down here. This is still obviously a very good film. Not as good as Avery, in my opinion, but very close. Gonna get in the way. So what's the main difference, in my opinion, between Avery and KPMF? KPMF isn't as flowy, isn't as easy to use as Avery. You might see that here. See, it sticks a bit more. You can hear the adhesive, but it's not like a calendared film. It comes up very easily. And glassing it out, you saw how easily I could pull Avery. I got to put a bit more force into this one. Just listen, you can hear how much stronger the adhesive is. And it's not like it's impossible or bad. It's just stronger, right? So listen, right? The Avery does not sound like that when you try and pick it up. So it has more of a bite, I guess you could say, because it's stickier, it has more bite. It doesn't slide over the surface as well. See, it's hard to get it to do that. So it's harder to get that adhesive, that sanding effect. A lot of initial tap there, but you can still glass it out. I'm going to squeegee. And the air release on this is also really good. You can see we have air bubbles here. And if I just press them, they go away, right? So KPMF's good that way. If I get a wrinkle, I can just pick it up. You know, I would put some heat, but it's really easy to work with. Look at that. Super easy to squeegee. Get a bubble. It's fine. So you can just lift it up. So if we come back to that same area, we have some scratches here, but that just comes out with heat. If we look at the finish, we see we have that orange peel, but that pebble effect, it's not here. Down here, you can see the finish looks much cleaner. That textured, again, is just in the vinyl underneath, but you don't see that balling up adhesive. So for KPMF, I guess the negative, in my opinion, is that the initial tack is stronger, the adhesive is stronger, so it's harder to glass out the film. And when I say harder, I don't mean it's impossible or difficult. It's just Avery is so easy that KPMF, on that scale, it's going towards the more difficult side, but it's still on the easy half of the scale. So now that we've done that, let's go to 3M. Okay, last one. This is 3M, and we're gonna see how it installs. So let's roll it out. Okay, so initial tack, look at that. Like no initial tack. It doesn't even grab. But if you press, now all of a sudden, right, pressure activated. So really easy to move around. This is how you get sanding, but look at that. Super easy, which makes it super easy to glass out. So let's see if we can do it. There we go. Okay. Forget pulling it around and messing around too much. So you may not notice right now, but I'll show you what this has to protect the film even more. So first, we're just going to squeegee this and see how the air release is. Look at that. Super easy. But 3M does have a problem. I don't know if it's going to happen here because the vehicle's warm. The hood is warm, the engine was running, that kind of stuff. But we'll see. So I'm just going to squeegee really quick. Glue lines is a bit of a problem with 3M. See if I got one there when I picked it up. I can't really tell. Maybe a little bit. I'll show you that. The cool thing about this line from 3M, I should know if it's on every color, but I'm not certain. Might be all of the 2080 series, but I don't know, so don't quote me on it. But they have a protective cover. So if I go to the edge here and pull this, look at this. So Avery and KPMF do not have this. Look at that. Protects the film, looks amazing. I love that. So we're gonna put a heat gun on this, and what I'm expecting to see is bubbles, like air bubbles, pop up, which I never noticed before. It looked like I squeegeed them all out. Now, I think this is a new thing. In the last couple of batches of 3M that I've ordered, this has happened, and it's pretty frustrating. You gotta squeegee the thing like 100 times. But it is what it is. I mean, I don't know, maybe the adhesive's different now, but let's see if that's true with this piece. We're gonna look for any big bubbles to pop up. Okay, I'm starting to see some there. Seeing the look, that over there is whatever. So I didn't really squeegee over there. No real bad ones actually. Okay, got some right there. Little bubble there. Okay, so that actually answers a question that I had in my mind. And that question had to do with heat. Now, whenever you message 3M saying I'm having an issue or what should I do here, usually, in my experience, their response has something to do with heat. The shop's not warm enough, the vinyl's not warm enough, the car you're working on is not warm enough, something like that. So, given all of that, the car is warm here, the vinyl's pretty warm, the shop's pretty warm because it's a warm day, and knowing those things now, you could see that when I was trying to look for air bubbles coming out, I didn't really get any. So I guess like keep that in mind. If you're using 3M, kind of bump up the heat in your shop to where it's noticeably warm, right? Much warmer, maybe a couple degrees, 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees warmer than normal. And then just by this little experiment here, I didn't have to worry about those bubbles appearing after I squeegeed. Another negative of 3M, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. This is just me being picky. Right there, see that line right there? So that's when I picked up the vinyl just to correct that little wrinkle I had. It left a glue line. Now I'm not hating on 3M and saying it's the only vinyl that leaves glue lines. 100% not. But it seems like it's easier. Glue lines are easier to create in a 3M film than other films. KPMF, I think it's really difficult to have glue lines. Avery is a bit easier, but 3M is like super easy to have glue lines. So you really don't want to be picking up the vinyl too many times. Otherwise, you'll get things like that. So that's it. We have Avery, KPMF, 3M, and coincidentally, this is the order that I would pick them in, my preference. Avery number 1, KPMF number 2, 3M number 3. As far as price goes, KPMF from my suppliers is the cheapest. Avery is a bit more expensive, and then 3M is the most expensive, but only like 10% more. It's not like double. So if you're a beginner or like a DIY or you want to wrap your car, you don't know what vinyl to get, 100%, please guys, pick a cast film from one of these three, Avery, KPMF, or 3M, and you'll be happy. If you pick those calendared films or those like combination ones, like whatever they're called, it's a headache, man. Trust me, it's a headache. And you're going to think vinyl wrapping is way harder than it actually is. It's not that hard. And when you have a good film, you realize that you could definitely do this on your own. So hope this helps. If you have any questions, ask in the comments. And thanks for watching.